everyone! Well, we're here, we're back, and today we're doing another anti-MLM video, and for this video, it is going to be pretty similar to my top fails #1 video where it was just one person was highlighted in that video. If you remember, it was a person in Monate who was debunking MLM myths or misconceptions. So this video is very similar to that. Also, the individual is also in Monate, so I think it just happened to work out that way, or a lot of people in Monate have a lot to say about myths and misconceptions. So I figured we would highlight this person in today's top fails video and see just what she has to say about the MLM world, network marketing world, whatever they want to call it. So if you guys like videos like these, go ahead and hit the like button. And if you really, really like it, please subscribe. Also, make sure to check out my description below for all of my fun links. I have links to my Poshmark, my Patreon, my channel members. I also have an email where you can send videos or photos that you find that you would like to see me react to in future top fails videos. And with all of that said, let's get started.
Hey you guys, my name is and I did some Instagram stories about this topic earlier today, and I swear to you, I have never had such a response from people. And most of them were asking me to make this into an IGTV so that it wouldn't die after 24 hours, because that's what happens to Instagram stories. So basically what I was speaking to was the anti-MLM trend that is all over social media right now.
I wouldn't call it a trend. I would say the people who are anti-MLM, like, it's not a trend. It's not because it's popular to do. It's because people have negative experiences with MLMs, or they had a family member who was a part of it, or they just have really looked into it and seen how things really are run, and they aren't for that. They don't like that. I mean, I believe the Reddit page, the anti-MLM Reddit page, has been around for 10 years at this point. I will agree that probably within the last few years, there has been more people publicly talking about MLMs and publicly stating I am anti-MLM, like making Instagram accounts, making YouTube channels. There's probably more Facebook pages about it. So I will say that there probably is just more out there, so it may seem like all of these people are doing it out of nowhere, but I don't believe that anti-MLM is a trend. I don't think that it's gonna be a big thing and then fall off. I think once people who are truly anti-MLM are anti-MLM, there's no changing their mind.
There are entire YouTube channels related to like anti-MLM, and sometimes you just see people posting their opinions on Facebook and Instagram regarding this. And it strikes me that a lot of these people who have these very strong opinions don't actually own a business. And so I kind of have a unique perspective in the sense.
How do you know that though? Like, how do you know that every single person or most people who run anti-MLM channels or Instagram accounts don't own their own business? You don't know that. And, you know, I can turn around and say that people in MLMs who talk negatively about the corporate world and the 9-to-5 have never worked a 9-to-5 themselves. So they shouldn't have opinions about that because they've never worked that. They're just saying what other people have said. They don't know what it's like to work a 9-to-5, but yet they're talking down to it. So I could, you know, come with that argument. But also you just don't know if people have a small business or not outside of YouTube. YouTube itself can be considered a small business because you make money from it, you run your own hours, you pay taxes on it. So arguably anyone that is making money from YouTube could technically consider it a small business.
That I do own a traditional business, and I also carry a direct sales brand within my business. I own a boutique. It's my boutique. It's got.
Yeah, she's a hairstylist, and she carries Monate in there. I will say, though, her hair, it's nice to not see it in a ponytail or in a hat, like majority of people in Monate, usually that I feature on this channel, their hair is usually in a hat. So I will give her that her hair looks very nice. I like the coloring, and the fact that she's not wearing a hat, I think is definitely a positive.
My name on it. It's my brand that I've built for the last 4 years. I'm liable for everything that goes right and wrong in it, for better or for worse. And I just want to address some of these things that people talk about that are maybe some misconceptions, and maybe they think that they don't exist in traditional businesses, but a lot of times they do. So I've got some notes here. I am just going to look down every once in a while so I don't forget something. The first thing I want to address is the misconception that nobody makes money in an MLM.
Okay, obviously people do make money because people need to make money for the scam to actually work and draw people in. And I will say that I think I've heard our people, we do kind of generalize and say that nobody makes money, which is not true. The correct statement would be majority of people don't make money. You can look at any income disclosure statement and see that anywhere between like 85 and 99% of people in the company are making nowhere near the amount of money for the amount of work that they put in. Most people, if they're in the first rank, maybe see $200 to $500 in the first year. And then the next rank, which maybe has 10% of the company, they maybe break 1,000, they maybe break 2,000. That's not something people can live off of. It's not until you get to the under 1% of pretty much every single MLM that you see, oh, that's where the money is. And to get to those ranks, you have to recruit a decent amount of people underneath you. You have to have people underneath you in order to get to those ranks. And that's where we have a big problem, is the fact that you have to recruit in order to get to these ranks where you start to see the livable income. So that's where we have an issue. I will agree that we do say nobody makes money, but majority of people don't make money. When you look at income disclosure statements, which are provided by the company, you see that majority of people, besides usually less than 1% of the company, are not really making any money. And that money is pre-tax. So, you don't know what the people bought during the year. You don't know how much they spent. So they're probably in the red. They probably spent more than they were bringing in. But I personally will try and work on saying majority of people in MLMs don't make money. I do understand that I do blanket statement say nobody makes money, but when you look at company numbers, it does kind of appear to be that kind of nobody makes money, but it is majority of people don't make money. People in MLMs at the top do make money. They make a lot of money because they've recruited a bunch of people who have recruited a bunch of people who have recruited a bunch of people, and they're getting the residual income from all those people constantly buying and recruiting and stuff like that. So yes, people in MLMs do make money, but also the way they make money through recruitment, I'm not a fan of.
And it's not that that is necessarily incorrect. There are plenty of people who don't make a single dime or even lose money with an MLM. That is totally valid. But that's kind of the same in owning a traditional business. If you Google failure rate or success rates of a traditional business, regardless of the area that it's in, most businesses fail after the first 5 years.
And I absolutely agree with her. Trying to start your own business is difficult, and a lot of people don't succeed due to one reason or another. Usually money is a big factor of that, or something else gets in the way of it, or it's maybe just something they don't want to do. That's totally reasonable and understandable and absolutely correct. I think the issue is that when it comes to MLMs, they say we already have the products in place. We already have the systems in place. We have everything, we have the website. We have, you don't have to do shipping. You don't have to do this. So they come with this thing that they have done all the hard work, and all you have to do is go out there and sell the product, and it's a lot easier than running a traditional business and starting from the ground up. So I think that is where the issue is that they come saying we've made it easier for you to start your own small business by doing all of these things already in place, but it's still extremely hard to get out there and sell these products because a lot of people think they're overpriced. You know, you don't get a say of the prices in an MLM. You don't get a say of running sales. At least in your own business, you can decide one day you want to run a sale. Maybe you want to put a product, you know, you want to discontinue a product, so you slash the price. You could do that. You know, you put out a new product and you get to choose the price. In an MLM, they don't get to do that. They get no say. So people will come and make it sound glorious and amazing and so much easier than opening your own small business, but it's just as hard for people in MLMs to be successful, even though the company that they have signed up under has everything in place for them already. They're just selling the product, but they're still finding it difficult.
Within those first 5 years, they either don't make a penny or they completely lose money altogether. And when I say fail, that can look like a lot of different things. That can look like people just deciding they don't want to own a business anymore. That can look like the economy shifting, like we've seen in COVID. A lot of small businesses have had to close, unfortunately, due to the economy. That can look like somebody just switching and pivoting or finding an opportunity somewhere else. So how is it different than somebody who tries out an MLM and it just doesn't work out? How is that any different? I don't think it is. I think the only difference is that when we hear about our friend signing up with XYZ company to become a rep, we are quick to remind them that they are not going to be successful. While if we have a friend that is, say, opening up, I don't know, a dog grooming business, we cheer them on and we share their posts on social media, and we feel the need to support them.
Right. The individual who owns a dog grooming business is more than likely not going to their family and friends and strangers and saying, hey, don't you also want to start a dog grooming business? It's a great opportunity, even though they just started this dog grooming business a week ago. They don't know much about it, but they want people to come along with them. One of these businesses doesn't come with the asterisk of a great opportunity.
But not the others. Okay, so that's the first thing. The second thing is that it's gross. I hear a lot of times that MLMs are gross. And that's an interesting word to use. So are
you saying like people's actions are gross? Because I would say that that's true.
I want you guys to, if this is something that you believe, I want you to Google health violations in the restaurants in your town. And if we're going to call an entire business model gross based on the behavior of a few people who admittedly, might do something gross, then I think restaurants might fall under that same accusation. There's a lot of really gross things that happen in restaurants, y'all. I worked in a lot.
I mean, there's a lot of gross things that happen in a lot of places, but you can't, people in MLMs do make this argument is like, well, look it over there. They're doing it worse, or they're doing the same thing. And it's like, you can't say they're also being bad, so it's okay that we are also doing the bad thing. Oh, well, we're not a pyramid scheme, they're the pyramid scheme. They're the illegal pyramid scheme. It's not a good argument to say like, well, look over there, they're doing the same bad thing, so it makes it okay for us. And I'm not saying that that's what she's saying, but it is kind of this like, well, look over there sort of thing. It's like, don't look over here, don't worry about what we are doing. Look over there, they're also doing the bad thing. Focus over there while we continue to do the bad thing over here. And yeah, food industry can be extremely gross. It definitely can. I can definitely say that I worked at a yogurt shop and we were definitely not the cleanliest, that's for sure. Which I look back now and I'm like, I hate that I even ate there. It really wasn't that bad. But there was like, we definitely weren't as professional as we should have been. Management was not on top of it at all. It was basically run by like a 20-year-old. And not saying 20-year-olds can't run it, but it was no. Like, management just let her do whatever she wanted, and she would just basically leave a lot. She one time went home on the clock to go take a nap and left me with the store by myself. She's like, oh, I accidentally fell asleep for 3 hours. And she didn't clock out. So that just shows how much effort she really cared about that business. But it closed down, so no longer exists.
Restaurants, and there's some gnarly stuff. Pro tip, don't ever send your food back. You don't like it, eat it, pretend like you like it. Don't send your food back unless you know the people in the kitchen. Okay, next. This one I think is a cop-out. So sometimes people call multi-level marketing unethical because they, say that it preys on people who who need to make money or want to make money or who want to own a business.
Yes, they will go after moms who want to stay home with their kids or want to make extra money because they have bills to pay or they're in debt. So they go after those specific people who are looking for some sort of change in their life, and this person will come and say, I have the opportunity. All these systems are in place. All you have to do is share on social media. They make it sound a lot easier than it is. They will go to anyone and everyone, of course, but it does seem like majority of people who do join are in kind of a desperate state. We hear their stories all the time, and most of the people who join would say they were in a desperate state and they needed to join. And I believe they tell those stories to also attract people who are in similar situations. And they're like, well, if they were able to get out of their situation, then I can get out of mine too. And I don't like that. And I will say that MLMs are absolutely unethical. And, specifically for her being in Monate and with the lawsuits of people losing their hair, I mean, I wouldn't really want to be a part of a company that is known for having your hair fall out. And when your president of your company just says that people are haters for it, yeah, personally, I wouldn't want to be a part of that. And I get that their thing is like, don't look at the lawsuits because they've been handled. I don't know. People's hair fell out, and I just couldn't personally at all be okay with being maybe somebody that sold someone shampoo that made their hair fall out. I would feel absolutely awful. I would feel horrible.
Okay. There are definitely some MLMs who don't live up to my personal standard of my values, the way that they operate. I don't like their product. I don't like, but they're not unethical. I think what we're talking about a lot of times when we're calling MLMs unethical, we're talking about the reps. The reps are behaving in a way that is unethical. And that,
the company itself kind of co-signs on all of it. They're kind of, yeah, they could fire someone for saying something they don't like, but they seem to be okay with a lot of however somebody wants to run their business, even though it's under that MLM's name, they have no issue with. And maybe if they did ethically care about the people who are signing up, they would pay them money instead of running this the way that they do it, this MLM structure where they know, they're fully aware the majority of people don't make money because that's how you keep things flowing in an MLM. You need people to constantly be coming in and out through the bottom, so money keeps flowing up constantly. You're always getting new people coming in at the bottom, signing up, wanting this opportunity to work out for them.
Happens 100%. That also happens in traditional businesses. That happens in hospitals. That happens in churches. That happens literally everywhere. There are people who behave in ways that could be called unethical. That doesn't mean that the hospital that they work at or the church they work in.
Well, also, if MLMs didn't run on this mandatory recruitment basically to achieve the money that they want, to see the residual income, then people wouldn't have to hustle the way they do. They wouldn't have to talk to people and try and recruit people the way that they do. It's because of the business structure. The business structure is unethical. The business structure is immoral, in my opinion. I think that there are way better ways that they could treat their employees, the people who represent their company. There are way better ways that they could do it, but they choose to do it this way.
Where the business that they work in is unethical. It means that person is being unethical. So know the difference between a person being unethical and a company being unethical.
It can be both. There can be people who are ethical people who get dragged into unethical workspaces or into an immoral situation. That does happen. But if the MLM business structure didn't exist, we wouldn't have these problems.
I have notes here. I'm just looking at you guys. So that would, I mean, for that, we're talking about personal responsibility. You're an adult, do your research. If they do something that's unethical, if I see any business that's behaving in a way that's unethical, I choose not to shop with them. I choose not to frequent them anymore. If you do see a rep that is doing something unethical, you report them or you just keep scrolling and ignore them. Okay. Next up, annoying. MLMs are annoying is something that I hear. No, a company is not annoying. The way that the reps, again, it's the reps.
Right, but who taught the reps how to do this stuff? Majority of what they do, they all regurgitate the same lingo. They all regurgitate the same stuff from something they learned from a previous MLM that they go and do to the next MLM. And they had somebody who trained them, who trained them, who trained them. I have seen top people say all this stuff of how to, do the cold messages, reach out to 100 friends and family members on Facebook, constantly be talking about the product, go out in public and show the product off to people. That can be annoying to people. Maybe to some people, being approached in public is not annoying. I think to majority of people, it is annoying because usually people are out running their errands. They kind of want to be left alone unless they're putting themselves in a situation where they know they're going to be talked to and whatnot. I think that that's fine. But obviously, like at the grocery store, at the dog park, at the doctor's office, they're not expecting to be approached to about a product or an opportunity. So that is annoying. And I get that not every rep does that, but they are trained from higher reps to talk to anyone and everyone about this. And obviously how everyone does that is different, but it does seem like everybody does kind of do similar things. And maybe seeing your friend talk all day long about what a great business opportunity this is all the time, always, that's annoying. They're not necessarily like doing anything bad or negative, but just the constant talk of how much they love their small business and how it's changed their life, yet they're not making any money, that can come off as annoying.
Who are behaving in an annoying way. And at this point, I'm going to speak to...
And, let's say that friend, before they joined the MLM, they would just post, different things. The MLM maybe changed them. They're speaking differently than they did before, maybe because it's a copy and paste message. So the MLM kind of changed them in a sense. And I think MLMs do change people. They take the copy and paste message. They sound like the bubbly person that they may have not been before because they're just copying what their upline does or what the person next to them does because maybe that person is getting sales or appears to be getting downlines. So you just never know. So that can be annoying.
People who, if you are a rep in a direct sales company, don't DM people that you haven't spoken to in the last 10 years and try to promote your product or service or
in the last 10 years that you haven't, but in the last 5, that's okay to speak to them about a product or an opportunity. Again, not saying she said that, but they are also told to do that, to message everyone on their friends list. Ask everyone because you never know who could be needing this opportunity. Yes, some people like her may not do that and may say to not do that. But then we've seen other people in other MLMs or even Monate say to message everyone because you never know who needs this opportunity. That's the thing. It's always like, who should I message? And it's like, everyone. Everyone.
Recruit them. That is annoying. It doesn't work. And if your upline is training you to do this, find a new trainer. There are a lot of resources out there. Don't make excuses for yourself. Find a new trainer, find new training. Don't listen to them. You don't get to say, we're adults here. You don't get to say, well, my upline told me to do this. Nope. Put your big girl or big boy pants on and learn how to run a business in a way that you can be proud of. Okay, next. In summary, and you guys let me know if you have any questions, okay? In summary, if you have a burning desire to build a thing, you want to build a thing, you want to have complete control over where the ship goes, where the ship, you want to have complete control over everything. You don't mind working 80 plus hours a week because what you're doing just makes you so happy. And you don't you know, you want that complete autonomy, go for it. Build your own traditional business. I do it. I've owned a business for the last 4 years, lots of ups and downs. But at the end of the day, I'm proud of what I built. I like having that control. I like, I enjoy that. So I wouldn't change anything about it. If, on the other hand, what you are looking for is freedom of your time and schedule, a virtually unlimited ability to pull a healthy profit margin immediately, because that's not something that a traditional business owner, that's not a luxury that most of us have. Profit margins are hard to maintain depending on what kind of business you have. But in an MLM, they are like pre-built in. You don't have to worry about your profit margin. If you're looking for that freedom, if you're looking for that healthy profit margin immediately, if you are not interested in handling every single aspect from product development to product photography and management of your inventory and overstock and liquidation, advertising and marketing and team management and human resources and taxes and insurances and leases and all of these things, if those are things that you really don't want anything to do with, but you do want that like business ownership, then a good ethical network marketing company might be a better option.
I just don't really see my opinion is I don't see a lot of ethical MLMs out there. If you have to recruit in order to see money, that's a problem.
It might make more sense for you. So again, all the things I was talking about, do your research, make sure that the product or service is something that you can stand behind, that it's not just like a flavor of the week thing, because you're going to be tied to this for the long haul, hopefully. That the company operates with integrity. Pay attention to the compensation plan. I will say, if it's a company that you have to recruit a huge team with in order to make a decent income, that might not be the best option from an ethics standpoint.
Okay. All right. Absolutely. Good. I'm so glad she said that. I think that's big. But the issue is and I think what she's trying to say is that go with a really good product that can sell well, and that way you could just more focus on the sales aspect instead of the recruiting aspect. But I think even if there is a recruiting aspect in an MLM, you know, obviously uplines will still try and more than likely get you to recruit so that they can rank up. That is usually a big part of it. And a lot of people will say, I never intended to start a team, but then one day I wanted to. And my guess is just being surrounded by all the other people at teams and maybe seeing that they had more money. Every MLM is different, of course, depending in the way of the product, of course, and the compensation plan. And some compensation plans are better. They are better than others, but there's still the recruiting aspect that is a problem.
My opinion, that's purely my opinion. A lot of people might not agree, but that's my opinion. Sell your product or service with integrity, get your commissions, and let the parent company do the heavy lifting and the scary stuff and the expensive stuff and the frankly really
that part is true. They do deal with a lot of the, you know, shipping and housing the inventory and all that. But I think selling the product is a very difficult part of it. And of course that works with owning your own business too, but at least you've had a hands-on approach with literally everything, which makes it feel more real for you, I feel, than an MLM where it's not yours. You didn't get to name the company. You didn't get to name the products. You didn't get to design the color, the logo, the prices, any of that. And maybe that's okay for some people. Maybe it does make it easier. I just think it can be hard to try and sell an MLM product to friends, family, strangers, and basically convince them that your product is better than all the rest and that you should change your shampoo and conditioner to this $100 shampoo and conditioner instead of maybe what you're spending is $5. So that's really hard to get people to change their mindset. Is it possible? Yes, but it's very limiting, I think.
Boring stuff. That's not something that everybody is cut out for. So in an MLM, you can learn how to build a brand, a personal brand. You learn how to, the recruiting part is, I think that that's where a lot of network marketing companies get a bad reputation, is because they require this like huge team in order to make, and that feels very much like a pyramid scheme. That's something that a lot of people say, oh, it's a pyramid scheme. A pyramid scheme is something where there's no product or service being exchanged and you're just buying in. And the people at the top make a whole lot of money. The people at the bottom make nada. And that's illegal.
Right. So it is a product-based pyramid scheme. People at the top make a lot of money. People at the bottom make nada, as we see in income disclosure statements. Yes, there is a product or a service being provided, but still people at the bottom are not making any money while people at the top are making a lot of money. Also, MLMs, quite often, a lot of them have been sued for being pyramid schemes, and it's gone through and gone to court. If there was nothing to base it off of, then they wouldn't be going to court for these issues.
Again, this is my opinion, the companies where you have to recruit a huge team and more people are buying in to the organization than who are actually purchasing a product or a service, that is scarily close. That's like a gray area. You're towing the line of a pyramid scheme, and that's just ugly, and I wouldn't recommend going that route.
Would you consider it gross?
Because MLMs do get shut down. So like I was saying, find a good company, work with them, get your check, let the big company deal with the scary stuff, and you just get your pay at the end of the day. So I hope you.
I wish it was just that easy. I mean, selling the product is hard, and maybe my issue that I have is how easy people in opportunity calls will make it out to be, but then when people get in, they see just how much effort and time you have to put in for such little return. And that's also an issue of what I have with MLMs.
You guys found this helpful. I think that this is it's like a trendy thing right now to talk about how MLMs are like, gross.
It's not a trend. I think just more people are outwardly saying it on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Reddit. You just see it a lot more, I think, because just there's been a lot of MLMs that have come out within the last 5 to 10 years. I'd say a decent amount have started up. So as much as she may say it's like a trend of anti-MLM, people saying negative things about MLMs, because of social media, there's been MLMs everywhere. There are MLMs, there are a lot of people joining MLMs and talking about MLMs. So I could say it's a trend of a lot more people joining MLMs because I see people talking about MLMs. So it's people joining because they think it's a real business and they think all of whatever they think. But with anti-MLM, it is not a trend. People don't like MLMs for the reasons they don't like MLMs. Whatever that reason may be, it could be different for everybody. But it's not a trend. I think people have been anti-MLM for quite some time. It's just now with social media, it's a lot easier to see everybody's opinions.
There's very little about an MLM that's bad or gross that doesn't also apply to a traditional business.
Okay, again, that look over there, they're doing it also thing. Not a good example.
And I can tell you that from experience. They're not really that different. Another thing that people say is like, oh, a direct sales rep isn't a business owner because they don't own the company. Okay, that is like, who cares? Who cares who owns in the eyes of the IRS, if you are a rep for a direct sales company, you are a small business owner. You are an independent contractor. You contract with the parent company to offer their product or service. Like you basically are getting the privilege to offer their product or service. And frankly, one last point, unless you guys have any questions, people don't think twice about becoming an affiliate. Affiliate marketing is really big, especially in like the online influencer world. You get like an affiliate link for this, or you get like an style me or whatever, like it, know it link. And these people will promote their clothes, let's say a pair of leggings that they love, and they will get paid like $2 for a pair of leggings. Okay. If you can get a 5% commission on an affiliate link, that's like, you're doing pretty darn good in the affiliate marketing world. Whereas in network marketing, you can do the same thing. You can recommend a product or service.
Right, but it's usually for one business. With affiliate marketing, it's usually like you can have an array of items from like different companies and stuff. With an MLM, you are basically loyal to that one business that sells just those products, and also it's about recruitment and getting people to also sign up underneath you. So that's also a major issue that I think I've said multiple times in this video.
Just like the influencers are doing, but you can get paid more like a 25 to 30% commission. Okay, so why is it okay for, there's nothing wrong with being an affiliate or an influencer and getting that little tiny commission, but why is that seen as better than recommending a brand that happens to be a direct sales model and you get paid a way bigger commission? Well,
usually it depends on the affiliate product. So like Amazon, if, I think it ranges. It just depends on however much the product is whatever your commission is for that. And then every company is different. So that's how it works also with MLMs, is depending on the price range of their products, it depends on how much commission the individual rep gets. So it kind of works similarly in that way. But I do see what she's saying, but I don't know. They are different, and you're not tied down to an MLM where you are constantly talking about what a great job this is, what a great opportunity this is. And maybe affiliate marketers do that too. I don't really follow any. I don't really look that much into it. I will hear people say like, I have links, if you ever want this, it is an affiliate link, and they'll usually move on from that. Versus in an MLM where they will sit and talk about how great and life-changing this product is and how you need it, and also how you should join the business as well. So I think that is where I have the issue, and I get that she's saying like people that do that, they are the annoying ones, and they can, they make the MLM structure bad. And yes, I guess people do make things bad, I will agree, but the MLM structure is made for it is a problem, because the issue is that within the pyramid is where all the money is flowing and made. Outside of the corporate structure of businesses is where the customers are, and the money flows from the outside in, not the inside and stays within there. Yes, there is some customers out here, but the way that MLMs make the most money is from people signing up, constantly buying the products, and trying to sell them. So that is the thing. I feel like with influencer or affiliate marketing, you don't even have to buy the product. You don't have to be an employee of the company for you to, recommend the products and get a little bit of commission for it.
Bigger, so much bigger. Modern Salon is telling hairstylists to be an affiliate during these times with COVID. Exactly. A lot of businesses have had to kind of pivot and do like online sales online. Like if you were originally, like Katie said, a salon owner, an esthetician or something like that, where you offered a service that was in person, and then with COVID you got shut down, and the only way that you could make an income was to be recommending a product to your clients during that difficult time. And then, these products, these companies are offering like a 3 to 5% commission for selling some shampoo and or hairspray or whatever it was. And that's like, yeah, do that. That's a good choice, but don't Don't sign up with a direct sales company that's going to pay you to, double or even triple or quadruple that amount because, direct sales. Like, there's just zero logic. There is zero logic. There is nothing about a direct sales company that doesn't also apply to a regular traditional business. We just have to deal with a lot more paperwork. A lot more paperwork. I can tell you guys that from experience. And another thing, just another little tidbit for you guys. There's a lot about owning a traditional business that you don't know until you know. And sometimes when you don't know, you end up having to pay like really heavy fines because there's nobody there telling you, make sure you've got this insurance, make sure you've got that insurance. And even if you are doing your own research, not every little thing comes up, and you learn a lot by making expensive mistakes. In an MLM structure, you're kind of like shielded from that because the company takes care of all of that for you. So that's just another little... You're welcome, Modern Wellness. You're welcome. So do you guys have any other questions, or are there any other common like anti-MLM things that you guys have heard that maybe I can address for you guys? That's right. Nobody's holding your hand. We are out here in the trenches learning the hard way, and oftentimes the very expensive way. And not everybody is cut out for that, and that is totally okay. I have people reach out to me on a fairly regular basis saying, tell me about how you got started with your business. I'm thinking about starting this kind of business. And what I actually recommend to people is that they find a direct sales company and they try it that way first. Because if you can start with a direct sales company and you can build a brand, you can build an audience, you can learn about marketing.
There are way other ways to start something small that is yours, that is not joining an MLM. I understand that she's not saying join under me, join my MLM. I get that. But it's like she wouldn't hate if people signed up underneath her and they tried to make this work and she was getting commission from their sales. Not saying that's what she said because it's not what she said. I'm not going to put words in her mouth. But there are other ways to start something yourself that isn't joining an MLM company.
Marketing, make a little bit of money, even if you don't become a bajillionaire. Just learn the basics. And MLMs tend to give the best social media training, and having a business right now without knowing how to operate on social media.
I mean, I guess I would agree with that. They definitely do a lot of like how to do reels, how to post stories, what you should say in these stories, what appeals to people. I do agree with that, but you can find that stuff for free on YouTube. You can find out how to brand yourself on YouTube for free. There are probably just so many videos on YouTube of how to brand yourself, how to sell your product on Instagram, stuff like that. So there are free videos that you can watch on your own time, on your lunch break, that doesn't require you spending X amount on a starter kit for an MLM.
It's like being dead in the water. I've never had such good social media training that I use to this day. So I actually recommend that people start out that way. If you can hack it in network marketing, you will be so much better off when you go and start your own gig. Nothing is forever. You can do this MLM thing for a little bit, take what you've learned there and use that to kind of propel your traditional business forward. And it's a stepping stone. It's kind of like training wheels. It's like training wheels for a business owner. And it's also a way for you to see if owning your own business is something that you really want to do. Sometimes we glorify it and, make it sound like rainbows.
I think that, and I would agree with that. I think a lot of people should look at videos on YouTube, like whatever niche you want to get into, and really look at videos before starting, because sometimes just even watching the videos and learning all of the stuff that you need to do can be overwhelming. And you're like, wow, it's a lot of work, because starting your own business is so much work. It is a ton of work. Even starting an MLM is a lot of work. It is a lot of work. So watching videos, because there's probably videos for anything and everything that you could want to start on YouTube, just watching videos, seeing what people did, taking notes, seeing what you need to do, and seeing, do you have time for this, or is this even something that you actually want to do, or does it just sound like a good idea? Because I think people are fine working traditional businesses and they're happy with that. It gets them out of the house. It keeps them accountable. That's the thing with owning your own business. You are your own manager. You are your own accountability person. You have nobody telling you where to go, what you need to do, and where you need to be. You have to be that person, and that can be really hard for a lot of people to be accountable for themselves. It can be easier for people to just be like, hey, my manager told me to be here, or I need to clock in this time on this day, like we're good. And it makes people happy, and they're okay with following along and not being their own boss. It is not meant for everyone. That's the other thing with MLMs. They will say, this is meant for everyone. Everybody can do this. But then sometimes they'll say, like, not everyone wants to be their own boss, while also saying that everyone wants that time freedom and to be their own boss. But that's just MLMs. They just contradict themselves a lot.
Some butterflies, and it's really not. But this way, if you try out an MLM and you realize that it's really, being a business owner is not your cup of tea, then in most cases you're only out like $200-300, whatever your like kit was that you started with. If you try out a traditional business and it doesn't work out, you're out like tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands.
Oh, she means like, I thought she was saying like if you get a job somewhere, you're out like tens of thousands. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I was like, they pay you. You don't have to pay them to work for them. But she's meaning like a traditional small business, not a network marketing business.
And ow. Ouch. Anything else, you guys? I feel like I was more eloquently spoken in the stories that I did. So I might just make that a highlight, but this is here where people can like make comments on this. We can have a little bit more of a conversation. But it's something I've been thinking about and I wanted to make a video about, because like I said in the beginning, I feel like a lot of these people who are anti-MLM don't actually know the first thing about owning a business. For better or for worse. So, okay. I'm gonna go hang out with my family. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your night, and I hope you found this helpful. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Bye, Monet Misconception lady. All right, so I do enjoy how she had to get that little jab in at the end, where she's like, people who are anti-MLM probably know nothing about owning a business. Like, that's just a blanket statement. You don't know what a lot of people do or don't, or maybe they have joined an MLM and it didn't work out for a lot of reasons. Maybe because, I don't know, they weren't seeing any money. I think the whole putting a lot of money into something and not seeing anything really in return, and feeling like you're becoming a different person, losing friends, family, relationships, that can take a toll on people. Usually if you start a small business, you don't typically lose friends and family over that. Usually they will help you along the way. They're more likely to support you in whatever you need there, whether that be financial or not. That is the difference with an MLM, is that the only way you really can help them is financially, is by buying the product or signing up. With an with a traditional small business, maybe they need help with shipping. Hey, can you help me with shipping? Can you come over and we can package things? That is taking someone's time, but it's not taking any money from them. With an MLM, the only way they can truly help is, I guess, shipping, depending. But of course, I like to say we don't like to stock product and all this stuff. But paparazzi huns, they don't listen to that. I will say that she was a lot more well spoken, and her points were a lot more clear than the first MLM hun, the misconception hun from the first video. So I will say that. She also shockingly said some things that I didn't think she would say, like that you shouldn't join one that is all just about recruiting. So I appreciate that a lot. I do think that that is big for somebody in an MLM to say, and not a lot of them say that. But I will end this video by saying that anti-MLM is not this new trend that just popped up within the last few years. It has been a movement that has been going on for a very long time. Alright, you guys, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you really, really liked it, please subscribe. Let's talk anything and everything anti-MLM, misconceptions, Monate, all of it in the comments below. And until my next video, I will see you guys then. Bye!